So thank you for being part of this because I've been searching how many people are wearing t-shirt today and I haven't seen any of the speakers wearing that, and definitely we are part of in statistics outliers, right? All disruptions, it's okay. All disruptions actually start as an outlier, right? And we don't fit in. And why I'm saying this is that what we are doing at Stylumia is something that which is completely out of the box of how fashion industry and retail is thinking. Before I move into what Stylumia does and how we use AI to support the fashion and lifestyle industry globally, I want to tell you some of the key shifts which are happening in retail. While I said future of retail, you can just replace this word retail with your business. For as you listen to this presentation, if you are in automobile, you can just say future of automobile. If you are in education, future of education. Everything I'm going to talk about is going to be absolutely relevant for any industry that you are in. You've been hearing a lot about lots of technologies, blockchain, AI, machine learning, deep learning. But what's the point? Is future of your business in technology? Absolutely no. It's in anthropology. What is technology for? Technology is for understanding the consumer. Everything that we do is understanding your customer better, right? The sensors, the IoTs, the cameras, the computer vision is to what? To understand this human is walking into the store. Understand this person who is transacting in the bank. Now it's all about anthropology, and technology is just an enabler. Going forward, future of retail is moving from transactions, right? Whoever you're serving to, it's moving from transaction to interactions. Previously, come to my store, buy whatever you want, get moving. Now people want to interact with you. If I have to interact with you, I need to understand you a bit better. What is the next level of interaction? You actually be very intimate with your customer. So put your customers at the center and then see how can I be intimate with my customer. How many of you watch Netflix? Much more than t-shirts. Now, you will realize that within 2 weeks of watching Netflix, that you seem to understand that Netflix understands you better than you know yourself. How are they able to deliver movies and soaps which you really like? Now, within 1 week, how much of data point they ever got? You would have watched few movies. Now, with few movies, they're able to understand you so deeply and they create intimacy, and purely because of the technology that they use. Now, you're going to see some cases where you'll see how technology is really enabling you to get to the customer very deeply. For future is no more consumption. We keep talking about consumerism and consumption. Future is all about putting the customer in the part of consumption, which means participative consumption. Consumer is no more taking what you give. Consumer wants to have a say in it, irrespective of the product that you're dealing with. Hence, in this context, as a brand or a company, you cannot have monologue anymore. For you have to have a dialogue with your audience, right? What would that mean also for marketing is moving from communication to building deep connections with your customer. You can't have deep connection with your customers without understanding them deeply, and how technology is going to enable that. For this was addressed in previous presentation. I think we're all thinking in the same direction. Now, it's not about just understanding customer. Future of brands and retail is also be socially responsible, right? And those who were there, you would have said, who in the world will go and advertise in a peak sale event that don't buy my jacket? The data shows that this brand grew better than any other brand during that time, right? And all of technology today helps you to move from convenience to hyper-convenience, right? Whether it is e-commerce, and I've been in the e-commerce business for a few years, from its nascent stage, when people told me that who is going to buy fashion online? Fashion means touch, feel, color, and all that, right? Why are you moving? And in fact, I moved from Walmart to Myntra, an unknown company, and said, I think you're making the biggest mistake ever in your life, right? Nobody will buy fashion online, and today it's a common practice. Now, hyper-convenience, I just want to, stress on this. Every customer has a moment called, I want it, and there is a moment that I got it. Now, imagine today you go to a shop and buy, maybe you take 2-3 hours to go to a departmental store and buy fashion you want. But Amazon invented that drone to deliver, to bring that down to 30 to 60 minutes. Now, just want to give you what people are thinking. Amazon is now thinking about bringing this movement from want to have movement in 16 seconds. They haven't figured that out, but they are figuring it out. It's a matter of time there where the want and having movement is coming completely closer. Loyalty is completely moving from earn and burn to, again, making deep, meaningful connection. No more this burning of points, right? Again, how would you do that? There are some case studies coming up very clearly. If you're in a retail business, shift is happening from buying and selling to show and tell. It's actually a storytelling rather than transacting. For it's not about selling merchandise anymore, it's selling mementos. When we travel, when we go for holidays, we come back with something to remember. Our fridge is flooded with a lot of those magnets. We remember that location. But when you go to a store, when you go to a bank, what memory do you carry back? Now that will decide that you are a brand, that you're sticking with the customer. And recently when I bought a car, and with my previous cars, I never had so much of attachment. But something happened in this car. When the petrol was going below the threshold, normally the car, you will see that yellow mark and the red mark coming. And this car told me that, you have only petrol for diesel for next 60 kilometers. Would you like to go to a nearest petrol pump? And the display came and I said yes, automatically connected to the map. It took me to the nearest petrol pump. Now the point is today, inanimate objects are starting to converse with you, right? The future is products are no more static. The products are conversing, products are actually becoming intelligent. For the other thing I talk about is, if you're selling anything, don't think that, ask this question, why do we exist? What is the business we are in? And the quick example is Nike. Now, Nike, you all know that they are in the business of sports and shoes, but as per them, they are not in the business of sports and shoes. They are in the business of health. They are in the business of fitness. Because just by having this clarity, Nike has created the Nike Plus app. Now, why should they monitor how many steps do you walk, how much do you run? For the whole thing is fundamentally asking that question, that which business you are in. For suddenly you get data which otherwise you would never got. Now you know not only sell the shoes, you know what is their health and habits of your customers. Going forward, move from products and commodities to experience. Now how do you do that? Not only you do shopping, you help your customers learn. Now, when products start to communicate with you, for example, let's say you go to a shop, you touch a shirt, it tells you I'm 100% cotton, I'm manufactured in India, I come from the city of Tirupur. Now, you know so much more about that product than otherwise you would have retail. And today, technology is available to do all of this. And also, stores are becoming a recommendation points, right? You can also share from a physical store. For where I'm coming from is, future of retail is life, it's not architecture. It's not having a great store. It's about creating experiences. Therefore, it's no more interior design. It's all about the software, no more about the hardware. What's the journey that you're going to go through in a store? For it's no more in a box. It is not to just sell products. Now, role of future of stores will be data collection points. How many of our stores actually collect data? There is so much of journey which is happening. Today, online retailers are able to understand you so much better because every click, every touch is measured. But why not physical stores do that? And today, technology is available to do exactly that, and you'll see a quick video on that right now. For moving forward is, you're a brand, you'll be remembered if you have rituals of what is a welcome ritual, what is my trial room ritual, what's my selection ritual. It's no more logos. For you become a story owner, not a product owner. What are you counting? We are all counting footfalls in retail. Why not count voice falls? The future is voice falls. It's not about what I come and what I buy. It's about what I tell about you in every media that I'm connected with. For the metrics in retail will completely transform right now. If you're not measuring, it's the time to start. For this is a futuristic thinking in terms of what could be the metrics of future in retail. Could be ideas per square feet, could be engagement per square feet, could be senses per square feet. Could be surprises per square feet, and could be delight per square feet, or could be smiles per traffic. Now, can we measure all of this? Yes. With the video cameras that you have, we can measure smiles. How many people inside my store are right now smiling? How many of them very serious? How many of them having fun? All of that can be measured today. But are we measuring them? And these are the ones which will create stickiness in the future. For successful retail shops in the future, could be doing any of this. There'll be a theater. Future of retail is not transaction point, there'll be theater. That's when people will come to your shop. Otherwise, they can sit and shop in their mobile phone. Now, Can you just play this video? It's a future of retail fashion store. It's a 2-minute video, if you can just quickly. And whatever we have discussed, you will see in reality.
Fashionable, accessible, and seamless. Alibaba has opened a new fashion AI concept store right next to Hong Kong Polytechnic University's fashion faculty, where academics, engineers, and fashionistas are working together to envision the future of fashion retail. Check into the concept store with a mobile Taobao ID code, and shoppers can opt into a face scan for a more personalized experience. You can browse around and do it at any clothing store. The difference is that items you pick up from the RFID-enabled clothing rack will automatically show up on the mirror. The smart mirror also shows personalized mix and match options to complete the look. It also directs shoppers to where other suggested items can be found inside the store. For people that like to try before they buy, like me, there's no need to carry around a pile of clothes while you shop. Just add items to your virtual shopping cart and head to the fitting room hands-free. There's more to the fashion AI concept store than its futuristic appeal. Real-time analytics enable staff to move much faster and provide customers with an efficient, stress-free experience. It also helps brands maintaining their inventory. Before entering the fitting room, where there aren't any cameras installed, the staff scan their Taobao ID code to connect your account to the mirror. Use the mirror to look through the selected items and update size and color changes. The mirror will alert staff to bring in the garment or shoes in the new size and color. With Fashion AI, you never have to worry about how to put an outfit together. Can't make up your mind? Shoppers can also browse through a virtual wardrobe on mobile Taobao to see the clothes they tried in store and explore more mix and match options from other brands on Alibaba's e-commerce sites, Taobao and Tmall.
Now, that's a future of fashion store where the products and the store are completely interacting with the consumer. And this is another, I couldn't play the video, but what you can see here is a drone is flying inside a store to check whether a product is out of stock or in stock. A drone can real-time monitor out of stock, in stock, and generate automatic replenishments and alerts to the entire ERP system so that availability is monitored completely. Even if a product is shifted from location A to B, it will be able to identify that. What you see here is a manless, in fact, we're not able to play the video fully here, but here is a refrigerator where you can go. It's a completely manless store where you just have to show your scanner and you scan your ID. Immediately you can open the fridge, you can take whatever you want. There are 5 cameras spotting what you're picking. Immediately billing happens on your mobile phone. For entire shopping is completely automated. Cameras are replacing human from a visual perspective. For where we are coming is, future of retail is a combination of machine intelligence. It's man plus human plus machine. And that's what is coming up. And for those who are new to machine learning, very simple way to introduce that is, there are 2 ways of assembling products, and I'm sure Chennai understands automobile better than anybody else. Now, one way to build a product is assemble and give a set of rules, assemble, the product comes out. Another way to produce products is through nature. The way it produces product is sow a seed and put fertilizer, the outcome comes, right? Machine learning is like nature. You don't need to teach any rule. Just give enough data, that's the soil and the seed, and automatically the algorithm comes out. For the more the data you have, machine gets completely intelligent. Now, for the purpose of, AI is not, it's a completely organization-wide initiative and data is key. For if anybody wants to understand AI basics, one country which has done a phenomenal work is Finland. You can go to this URL and it's free for everybody. If this is not for technical people, I would recommend strongly that anybody in your organization can get to understand AI very, very quickly. And one of the best courses that I've ever seen. You can see how machine learning as a keyword is surging on Google, because that's one way that we all can use the power of machine to understand from data and take informed decisions. For why do we need to do all this AI and data, everything? It's because every business wants to reduce risk. Risk is inversely proportional to knowledge. Therefore, we all want to improve knowledge, and hence artificial intelligence, and hence data becomes fundamental. I want to quickly move through saying that how Stylumia is enabling fashion businesses. We want to disrupt the way fashion business is running. Just 2-3 minutes. All the retailers are moving from store at the center to customer at the center. Now, previously, people had stores and say, please come and shop with me. And the future is now, customer is the center. You decide how to serve him. When he is at home at midnight, he wants something, you deliver through your online channel. When they are in the shopping mall, you provide that convenience. When they are on the street, you want to reach them through other modes of communication. For that's a fundamental shift. For in this context, and in fashion, everybody said that fashion is very creative. Using data, you can't do anything, but you can see what's happening in Emmy Awards. Who is winning awards right now? Not the Hollywood. It is the Amazon, the Netflix. An equivalent of that is happening in fashion, and that's something that we are working towards. In fashion, 2 out of 3 products don't do well, and that's why you see a lot of discounts all over. It's a $3 trillion business. How do we eliminate this waste? Is the fundamental objective of Stylumia. I'll just show you 1 or 2 things that we do for want of time. We help fashion businesses validate trends. How do we predict trends of fashion well ahead in time? For we build a validation and prediction engine which will tell you, which will reduce the probability of error of any fashion brand or retail anywhere in the world. I'll skip that video. What we help people do is, if there is mustard color, what kind of mustard color pants are doing well? Anywhere in the world. You can spot trends at the level of product, at the level of attributes. What are the latest fashion trends from New York Fashion Week? It's all machine-curated trends, no manual expert involved. We operate at internet scale of data, both with images and text, using NLP and computer vision and machine learning. What kind of patterns in women's tops will do well next year? These are clusters which are curated by the machine. If you want to launch a new product, will it sell next season? It can predict how much will it sell also at a level of accuracy of around 80%, much ahead of human prediction. We also have heat spotting tools to predict consumer attention using neuroscience. Given an image, where will customer have their eyeballs? And there are technology available now to even generate fashion. For using our engines, we can generate a bag from a sketch. We can generate a t-shirt from a lot of data. From creation to prediction, today technology is available. For these are various customers. Globally, people want to listen to us. Recently, Macy's CEO, multi-billion-dollar company, spent a lot of time with us. I want to leave this presentation with, I think you will be hearing a lot of technology, but the question is, which bucket you want to be? You want to make it happen, you want to let it happen, or you wonder what happened? When a lot of technology comes, you better be in the first or the second box, not the last one. Experiment and move fast. Keep experimenting rather than waiting and say, if you want to be 100% sure, you'll be 100% late. That's something that I want to leave all of you. Thank you. Sorry for exceeding the time limit.
I think the important point is not only the retail industry, any industry, as you rightly said, you can see the application so well. It is no more the best practices. Best practices are out. Sears is out. Toys R Us is out. Lot of companies are out. But the next practice are in. So let us understand this disruptive technology, because we got to be distinct or extinct. With that, let me invite the second speaker of the day, Dr. Shashank Shah. He is a Harvard Business School visiting scholar and also a consulting editor for Business India. Let us hear his version how the exponential growth can be accelerated in a disruptive world. Shashank.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's such an honor being here. It's my first event with the Madras Management Association, and I'm delighted to be here. Really impressed with the professionalism of the organization and the wonderful cohort of speakers and the themes that have been curated for today. My presentation today is going to be on decoding disruption the Indian way. The room today is full of corporate futurists who are talking about the future of disruption, the future of corporations, the future of consumers. I want to take a step back and see what did we do well? What are the disruptions that have happened in India over the last 25 years that are insightful? And what are the lessons that you and me can gain from these disruptions and can implement some of them in our workaday life? One of the key objectives of this session was, how can I be a better disruptor? And how can I do that, whether my corporation is in India or overseas? A couple of theoretical points. There's always this confusion between disruption and innovation. Where does innovation end and where does disruption begin? So all disruptors are innovators, but not all innovators are disruptors. Just like all squares are a rectangle, but all rectangles are not a square. Disruption uproots and changes how we think, behave, and do business on a daily basis. It's a hitherto unknown way of doing things, and having introduced that, there is no going back. And finally, and this was also quoted in the introduction to this theme, Professor Clayton Christensen from the Harvard Business School has defined disruption as a disruption displaces an existing market, industry, or technology and produces something new, more efficient and worthwhile. It is at the same time creative and disruptive. But is all disruption to do with IT? Is information technology all that enables disruption, or there is more to it? I believe disruption needs to have a far more holistic approach which benefits several stakeholders who are key contributors to our businesses. And the main question that we need to ask is, what if? What if something else